boys and girls. Mrs. Freeland here. Hope you're doing well. If you're at home, I hope you're staying safe. And I'm so glad you've tuned in to do some reading at home. And if you are at school, I'm glad that you're working hard at school to be a strong reader. So, boys and girls, I'm going to teach you a strategy today, something that readers do. Um, as we look at a book, what we're going to do is we're going to actually make the book really come alive. And we're going to use our minds to imagine not just pictures on the pages, but we're going to pretend like we can see the people and the animals in our book moving. So we're going to imagine them moving, even though the book pictures are not moving, right? And we call this making a movie in our minds while we read. So, boys and girls, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to show you with one of our books that we read in the last lesson that was all about looking for frogs. And I'm going to show you how, before I read the book, I'm going to really make a movie in my mind by using the pictures and think about the story that's going to be told. And I'm thinking about it like it's really happening and things are moving. So the first thing I'm going to look at is, here are some frogs on a lily pad. And I'm going to imagine that frog jumps. Ooh, and this one's swimming. So I'm playing a movie in my mind about frogs being outside, jumping and swimming. Now I see a family in the forest, but they look like they're walking. So I'm going to imagine them walking through the forest, and out jumps a frog. Boys and girls, do you see how I'm not just thinking about the picture, I'm thinking about how the characters can be moving in the story. Ooh, so now they're at the pond, and I see a fish swimming, a snail, maybe he's crawling, and here's the lily pads. And maybe I'm going to imagine a frog poking his head up and peeking out from the lily pads. So I'm thinking about all the places where we find frogs. Here's one sitting on top of a green lily pad, and then I'm going to imagine him hopping to another one. And these friends are waiting to see a frog, and then I'm going to imagine out comes a frog. Ooh, this one's easy to imagine moving, right? That frog is jumping. Maybe I'll imagine the splash, right? So boys and girls, before you read a book, what I want you to do is really think about the book being more than just pictures, but really telling a story of people moving or animals moving. And so we're going to make those characters move in our mind and imagine what they could be doing, not just the one picture that might be in the story, right? And then we are going to read through the story using our finger, just like we did yesterday, looking for frogs. Now, while I'm reading, I'm playing that movie in my mind, and it's not just a still picture. I'm imagining them moving. Have you seen frogs? We can look for frogs in the forest. And that family, imagining them walking, I could see it in my head. We look in the pond. We may see fish and snails. I'm imagining them swimming. Are you boys and girls? We look on top of the green pads. I'm imagining that frog jumping. We sit and wait to see the frogs. I'm imagining them sitting and waiting, and out jumps a frog, and maybe it scares them. You think? If the frogs see you first, look out, splash, splash, splash. Then we can imagine that frog jumping in the water and making a splash, right? So boys and girls, that's what you're going to do today, is as you read your book, before you read actually, you're going to look through the book, look at the pictures, and don't just imagine a picture on a page. Imagine that character, that person, whatever's on the page, a car or maybe a bike, imagine it moving and something happening. That's how you make your stories come alive, boys and girls, right? We're making a movie in our mind. So we're taking a picture and imagining it moving. All right, have fun today making movies in your mind.